We are back live, ladies and gentlemen. We're taking your phone calls here today. I'm trying to keep my anger from boiling over during the breaks because this is teleprompter free. This is not a game. It's not a joke. We're going to talk to John, Rosie, Alan, Rick, Gina, and others here in just a moment. Let me recap some of the top Ebola news stories right now as they develop and unfold. Dallas patient is dead, remains still infectious. They'll probably have kids drink the blood like it's a holy sacrament or something, or to prove they're not racist. Family members, I'm not joking, in San Francisco and other areas for 20 years, they spread AIDS on purpose. They call it gift givers, gift receivers, and if you're against it, you're homophobic if you don't want HIV. Remains still infectious. Family members kept under quarantine. Officials monitoring 48 people. Protesters clash with police over Ebola dog. Uganda protest, don't shake hands. In Liberia, no soap, no bleach, no gloves. Just those countries are basically collapsing. Thermal scanners at schools and airports are non-effective. We have a story on that just went up on Infowars.com by Kit Daniels. Feds announce airport fever screening for Ebola, which can be beaten with ibuprofen. The new fever screenings by the Obama administration are a little more than security theater designed to make federal officials look like saviors when, in fact, they're violating their own protocols which prevent a virus from spreading. That is shutting down the flights and controlling the borders. So it's all them trying to respond and keep their religion of open borders going. Continuing, the Coast Guard sector issues new steps on Ebola virus. A U.S. Coast Guard sector says it will contact ships that have recently been to Ebola-affected countries to ask whether passengers have symptoms of the virus before they are allowed into port. The sector, which includes parts of New York and Connecticut, issued the maritime community in Long Island Sound on Monday a bulletin that describes protocols being put into place. Connecticut Health Commissioner granted quarantine power, AP. Doctors say Spanish woman, the nurse, touched face with Ebola glove, and that's how she got it. Why'd you bring it in the country? Spain struggles to address concern over Ebola. Why'd you bring it into the country to begin with? That's the new open border policy. CDC not taking extra Ebola precautions at SeaTac Airport. No, just set up random highway checkpoints. First Ebola patient, as I mentioned, is dead. That is just some of the news on that front. CDC says in the Hill newspaper, airborne Ebola, possible but unlikely. New York hospitals prep for Ebola. In drills, staff pretending to be patients, inner city hospitals complaining of symptoms. That is just some of the news on that front. Double reverse on Ebola mission, WorldNet Daily, and yet another Obama administration reversal, adding to the confusion surrounding the mission of U.S. troops in West Africa. Defense Department officials General David Rodriguez misspoke when he told reporters Tuesday that U.S. troops would be in direct contact with Ebola patients. Well, of course, they'll be in direct contact with people that have Ebola, not just patients, because this country is just spreading everywhere and incubates for 21 days. You don't know who has it for 21 days. Ebola scare draws firefighters to O'Hare. Lots of panicking going on, but the border stays open. They'll have bomb teams looking for boxes on the side of the road that blow out of a truck but leave the border open. It's just all part of this ordered out of KO scenario. Ebola scare delays flight at Ontario International Airport. More hysterical behavior. American Airlines flight makes emergency landing over Ebola scare after passenger gets sick. Democratic senator in tough race can't get straight answer about Obama's response to Ebola. Male Ebola survivor told, use a condom. Sex could keep Ebola epidemic alive even after the World Health Organization declares a free area of the disease. One of the discoveries of the deadly virus said on Tuesday. The WHO is hoping to announce later this week that Nigeria and other countries are free of Ebola after 42 days with no infections. The standard period of declaring an outbreak over. Twice the maximum 41-day incubation period. However, it appears the disease can last much longer in semen, 70 days inside the testicles as an incubator. Testicles are designed to keep sperm alive. Well, turns out it's keeping the Ebola alive. Perfect little nursery. General, if Ebola reaches Central America, there will be mass migration into the United States. Okay, continuing here. Ebola outbreak. Spread of deadly disease across Europe is unavoidable, warns World Health Organization chief. Meanwhile, they have Texas Health and Human Services Executive Commissioner Kyle Janik. The audio's not that good. It's from the state video feed. Saying that there's basically no chance and no threat. We'll go ahead and play that clip now. Still, we had it this morning. It's cool. Such a big deal was made out of the clip that I knew from the beginning, not you guys, that it was not meant to be aired. It's fine. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I don't need it. It's fine. Okay. Anyways, let's move along to calls now. Let's talk to Gina in California. Go ahead, Gina. You're on the air.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Jones. I'm Gina. I'm a 42-year-old married mom of 4 from American Canyon, California. Before I get into what I think about the Ebola and the question I have for you, what I'd like to say about the gorgeous soldier kiss statue is it's a testimony to the good guy winning and getting the girl. So as a mom and a sexy female, I would like to say that men and women do have a beautiful thing together, and we as women do want to be conquered. Check out the book, What a Man Really Wants by Justin Sterling. Now, as a stage 3 colon cancer survivor with a 13-year-old autistic son, I do believe he was purposely infected through an MMR vaccine I traced to Merck. My brother is a United States Air Force, and he's a cop. And after training the dogs for 10 years, he went as high as he could as a kennel master, and he's now in intelligence. He's not technically allowed to tell me anything, but when I talk to him about how I see my friends and family ignoring the truth and buying their Starbucks and going to the mall and watching, I don't care what they watch on TV, crap, nothing is being done. 9/11 was our first wake-up. Katrina slapped us in the face, and now we've been listening to you, yet I can barely pay the rent. I don't have any money to buy your amazing stuff on the InfoWars store, and we can barely get an extra can of SpaghettiOs. So my question to you, Mr. Jones, is how, as an American mom who stays at home with my 4 babies against the establishment's wishes, how am I supposed to prep for my family and exist with everyone in America?
Well, there's a poor man or woman's way to do everything. You can get sea salts. They're true sea salts. They're known to have iodine in them and things like that. It's just basic stuff is everywhere. The stuff we have is affordable, but it's just the supercharged best out there from the research we've done. Sunshine is there for everybody, except for the winter. That's why people get so sick during the winter. But I hear you, and God bless you, and I appreciate your call. That's why they want us poor. That's why they want us under their control. That's why they want Obamacare to shut down the economy. That's why they want the troops on these secret death panels. They want us poor, domesticated, under their control. That's why we're trying to promote free market and wealth. But our political engine's being blown. Alan in New Hampshire, you're on the air.
Yeah, I was actually initially calling to report on the Ebola patient dying in Texas. We are continually being lied to, and they contradict their story. They produce confusion, and it just keeps going and going and going.
It's obviously a psyop in my view, but what is the larger goal?
Right. Well, how do we change this? They grow in leaps and bounds, and we only make moves in inches and centimeters. It doesn't seem that anything that we the people do has an effect on the establishment, and I feel lost sometimes.
I'm sorry, my audio was cutting out. What'd you say?
I said they grow in leaps and bounds on a daily basis, and our progress as the people, we stymie them here and there, but we don't seem to make any progress towards the American culture of freedom.
That's because it's very hard to beat the fog of war, and the globalists write about this all the time, where they create so much confusion, such a dumbed-down society, that then they can win because they control the government, and we're all in shambles. And that's what they've done. But once people are aware of that and know that the central government is totally run by psychopathic control freaks, literal might as well be aliens here to kill us. I mean, they're that bad. I mean, they're not, technically, but demons from hell possessing people, whatever you want to call it. It's cognitive dissonance. Why did dozens of women get in the car with Ted Bundy? Because he wore nice little gray suits and little brown loafers, and he had a nice clean-cut haircut, and he drove a yellow Volkswagen. And he would talk to him in a little soft NPR voice, kind of like Senator Harry Reid. And he'd say, hi, you want to go get a Coke or something, see a movie? Want to have fun? And then he'd go, he's a non-threatening guy. I'm going to get in the car with him. And then he'd reach over and put handcuffs on them, punch them in the nose, put a gun to their head, and say, keep quiet, and you're going to be safe. Now, they'd have knocked their head to the window, fought and bit him. He'd have thrown them out. He did that with a couple of women. The ones that fought lived. The others got taken to basements, tied down, and tortured for months. He loved torturing and sucking their soul out. And that's what the globalists do, okay? They're going to suck our soul. And they've almost got us chained down with Homeland Security now. And the real fun can start. And that's what it's all about. You're just trendy with a little short beard and curly hair and a sweater. Oh, hi. Oh, I'm non-threatening. Don't like the men that are big and open and have loud voices. No, like me, the trendy, the Obama, yeah. I'm going to take real good care of you. I appreciate your call, Alan. Rick in Canada, you're on the air.
Is this the wildly popular conspiracy theorist Alex Jones?
I guess. I mean, I think 2 + 2 = 4, and that's the definition of conspiracy theory, yeah. I have my own views, and I have a memory, and I am bad, yes.
In that case, I've got the right guy. Alex, from a third observer, being up here in Canada, I've been listening to your show now for about 6 months. Quite impressed with it. And it just seems to me that basically America, almost like the entire country, is run like a corporation, and that the people are being literally managed.
Yes, but managed towards a destructive end as a human resource.
I think, basically your guest was right. Once martial law is declared, and it'll probably take close to a year and a half for it to get to the point where it is, it'll
just be a soft martial law. We're already in a civil war. We have pundits and all their minions in the counties and cities and states and public schools and colleges saying, don't dress up like a cowboy or a Native Indian, Native American at an event. Don't dress as a geisha girl. Don't have Oktoberfest. Don't kiss girls. I mean, they're a bunch of crazy control freaks, and we follow their orders. So no wonder we're in so much trouble.
Exactly. And I mean, honestly, I don't know what you can do, really.
Well, the brainwashing we're under is globally standardized. Okay? It's globally standardized. So whatever we're under, you've got your own version there. I mean, hell, they don't let preachers read out of the Bible stuff they say is, hurtful in Canada. They arrest preachers up there. If you, and I don't agree with this because Hitler did kill a bunch of people and did target Jews, but if you go up to Canada and disagree with how many people got killed in the Holocaust, when real historians disagree all over the map, it was millions of people. The point is you can debate it. They arrest you and then deport you to Germany where they put you in jail. I mean, that's not freedom. And then next it's, you can't deny global warming. See, people say, well, ban defending Hitler, but don't ban saying global warming isn't real. You can't have both. What was your point about Michael Savage, brother?
I think he's absolutely right that, I don't think Obama is going to leave office once martial law is declared. That's the blueprint to basically make the North American Union, and they just keep right on progressing with their global
That's right.
plan.
That's right. We can't have a border because it's gone. Except for citizens, it's a internal checkpoint on record for currency and capital controls and to not let us get out. It's not there anymore. God bless you. Same thing for your Canadian border. George Norrie, God bless him, he's wanting me to come up to Canada when he does big shows up in Toronto that sell out to thousands and other stuff. And I'm going to go to some of his shows and hang out because I want to go to some of them. He's a good friend of mine. But I don't think when I try to go up to Canada to one of his shows, they'll let me in. And Canada's a beautiful country. But, man, I mean, you'd have thought Hitler had landed whenever I go up there. I mean, they arrest me. They throw me in a jail cell. They scream at me for 16 hours. I mean, it's not fun. And meanwhile, I'm sitting there looking out the jail cell as just illegals just pour through when I'm in Canada. I mean, just, it's a joke. Dean in North Carolina. Dean, you're on the air.
Hi, I think we should establish the first Great Wall of the U.S. Like China had a Great Wall, put it right down there at the Mexican border, because that, I think, would help stem the tide of illegals, first of all, and stop the scare of South America trying to come up through that border, too.
Well, if they didn't give illegals free welfare, and then it would all end. And then the type of illegals we'd have are the ones we want.
Yeah.
I mean, you incentivize, have babies free, get everything free, then you incentivize the worst dregs of anywhere in the world to come here. Despite all the freebies, so many of these people are hardworking and want their own business that they won't take the welfare. So there are a lot of good people from the immigrant pools that are fleeing the hell of Latin America. So that's why this is a sad thing, is there's actually a lot of great people coming up here. The problem is the Democratic Party and the Republicans, they want, you're handicapped, you want to come have 5 kids, you never had a job in your life, you weigh 500 pounds and wear 6X underwear, literally, we want you.
It's just incredible, isn't it? I just want to say one last point, that I am upset because, you know, I'm only in my early 20s. What have I done to deserve any of this? And now, because of the decadent ways of those younger generations of the ones who fought in World War I and World War II and such, have let the government take control to the point where, you know, now my daughter's in danger.
Well, they call it the greatest generation, and my grandfathers and grandmothers are and were wonderful people. One of them's still alive. Though she's had a really rough couple of weeks, let me tell you. It just, in a lot of ways, they were better than us and more moral, because I've looked at it. But in other ways, they were gullible, because they kind of, the greatest generation were the ones that forgot what their parents and grandparents taught them, that you don't trust the government, you don't keep your money in a bank, and you don't go into debt. And you only work with people that absolutely are trusted. I mean, in the old days, just 80 years ago, if you didn't have a good name, you didn't get a job anywhere, and nobody worked with you. People didn't blackball you. You blackballed yourself. You didn't pay your bills. You cheated somebody. You're not going to work anymore in the town. And then the next step is you're going to fall down and hit your head. And I was reading history books and stuff about my ancestors that are all over Texas history books. And, I mean, somebody cheat them, they just go kill them. And it wasn't they'd be like the most trusted people in the town, totally nice, totally friendly, help everybody, loved. You cheat them, they just come kill you. And I'm like a wimp compared to my ancestors, the stuff they did. I mean, just, you smart mouth them. Go out in the street, get your gun, let's go right now. I mean, that's just how everybody was. They didn't have a bunch of wimps and fake tough people. You shoot your mouth off, you better be ready to back it up 100%. We are back live. Final segment, ladies and gentlemen. Infowars.com. PrisonPlanet.com are the news websites. We're here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., as you know. Back weeknights, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Please don't forget that if you check into DNA Force, it is a proprietary nutraceutical, just one patented, certified, proven ingredient in it. Costs us $12,000 per kilo, or the equivalent of $40 into each bottle just of that one ingredient of a whole bunch. That's why if you go to InfoWarsStore.com or InfoWarsLife.com and read about DNA Force, you can actually see the claims that we're able to make on record, because this is a nutraceutical. This is proven. So talk about immune system, you name it. This is it. X2, Survival Shield, nascent proprietary iodine, InfoWarsLife.com as well, or 888-253-3139. Watch the informational videos on the site, and your purchase also funds this operation and everything we're doing here. InfoWarsLife.com or InfoWarsStore.com. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Bob in Rhode Island. You're on the air. I'm fine, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, I live in Rhode Island, small state, and just recently, as of, I think it was yesterday, 4 towns in our little state were threatened. The schools were, that is, and there was letters sent to the schools saying that if the children were left outside, that they would either be kidnapped or beheaded, and a lot of people are saying that this is a ISIS threat, and I just was wondering if you had heard anything on your end.
No, I haven't heard of it. It sounds like a prank. But ISIS is a real terror group being funded by our criminal government on record publicly, and they are letting them come into the country, and I don't think they would put the threat out first. The way they operate is they're just going to do it. And they have said over there they're going to come over here and kill us, and our government's greasing the skids for them, as Michael Savage said. It's totally fake. The war on terror is fake. The controlled right always spins it and says that I'm saying there's no radical Islamicists. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying just what I said. The government's funding them and protecting them. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
God bless you. I appreciate your call. Joseph in Michigan, you're on the air.
Yeah, hey, can you hear me, Alex?
Yes, I can.
All right, a couple of things here. On the Ebola, that doctor that caught the virus from C-section,
Yes.
well, I happen to work in the operating room for over 20 years, and that is just totally absurd, and somebody needs to pay the piper on this one, because as soon as they come into pre-op, as soon as they get in that hospital, they're already checking vitals. So for that to get to the operating room to do a C-section, whoever's doing the anesthesia would have a grasp on that as well. I mean, it's just totally disregard. Another thing on the Benghazi hearing, I don't know how you feel about Trey Gowdy, but I've been watching some of the hearings on C-SPAN, the way he's really getting into Hillary Clinton and how the cover-up is with all the underlings just totally not giving any names. And
Well, yeah, because they've been threatened. They even offered to put them in the witness protection program. There's a whole bunch of deaths. Looks like 15 people that could blow the whistle have ended up dying. No, I hear you. Great point. I'm out of time. Sorry to other callers. Lord willing, I'll be back tomorrow live, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, with the rest of the incredible InfoWars team that did another amazing job today. Retransmission starts now, Infowars.com, and the show is re-aired on stations all across the United States. We have a chance to stop this and turn it around. The people are beginning to wake up. By the way, the new Obama T-shirts are available at InfoWarsStore.com. I forgot to tell you that. A limited number. All right, folks, little news update here. We're still live into Overdrive. We'll be back tonight, 7 o'clock Central, InfoWars Nightly News with the great news crew. Leanne McAdoo, Darren McBreen, John Bound, Jakari Jackson, David Knight, and so many others that make it all possible. Don't forget, it's you out there, the viewers, that make it possible. As I said 1,000 times, we're not like NPR that gets $400+ million of taxpayer money and then begs for money from their audience as well locally to fund themselves and then promotes anti-liberty, anti-freedom agendas. We're not like MSNBC and NBC that got over $1 billion in bailout and stimulus money that then pay Rachel Maddow so no one can watch her as she tells you that your family is bad and that families are evil and your kids belong to her and all the rest of the walruses masquerading as reporters. We're funded by bringing you high-quality, cutting-edge products, Molon Labe, Made in America, 1776 T-shirts, and things like that to say, hey, come and take it, scumbags. We'll talk like we want. We'll say what we want. We'll do what we want. Period. And again, my favorite shirt is the Molon Labe shirt that, of course, means come and take it in Latin, but goes back to the Greeks when they wouldn't turn in their swords and spears. We got two different variants of that. Those are made in America, InfoWarsStore.com or made in 1776.com. But since I mentioned this earlier, I want to get to it. I had this idea kind of last week, and then I saw stories all over the news today, one up at Infowars.com, about bumper stickers popping up that say Ebola. But then in the O, it is the Obama symbol. So we now have a T-shirt that on the back says Obola, Infowars.com, and on the front says Ebola. So we're the first to get these out, ladies and gentlemen, and I have announced a limited run. We have them in production right now. It'll take a few weeks to get them in, and then we'll ship them out, and that's it. So when they're sold out, they're sold out. We're doing 3,000 of the blood-spattered version and a little less of the one that doesn't have the fake blood splatter version. But it's a great way to desecrate the political correct gods. It's a great way to say we'll equate big government and tyranny with disease. In fact, we're going to add to that shopping cart page, if you go to the front page of Infowars.com, a graphic that Kurt Nimmo put together today. And in that graphic that you can see again at Infowars.com, you can see that it breaks down. In fact, let me just go to Infowars.com, and I can do that to the homepage. It says Ebola. Front page, anti-gun, anti-sovereignty, anti-liberty, tyranny is a disease. That's why we're putting this out. Because they say, oh, you can't criticize our Lord and Savior, as Jamie Foxx called him, Barack Hussein and Obama. Well, we are going to do it, even though he's a puppet. It doesn't matter. It's about getting in the face of the system. Remember back when we started promoting the Obama socialist Joker image, when they tried to ban it in L.A., we put out our own version? And then all over the country, people put it up. They were threatening to arrest him, so more people put up, and then they backed off. There is such a political correct intimidation to where now they say you can't be a geisha girl on Halloween or a cowboy, that everyone is just groveling and going along with whatever they say. Well, we're not going to be part of this anymore. We must be politically incorrect, folks, because they're making the circle of what is kosher and acceptable smaller and smaller and smaller. I predict these will sell out in a week or quicker. The new Obola T-shirts. It says Obola on the back with the Obama symbol as the O, and then Ebola on the front. We have the blood spattered, fake blood spattered. It's not real blood, folks, obviously. 2 + 2 = 4. We have that available, and then we have the one that's clean. InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. I want to thank you all for your support, becoming PrisonPlanet.tv members as well. Great job to the crew. We'll see you back tonight, 7 o'clock, and back tomorrow, Lord willing. Don't take it for granted. We're under attack. So are you. 11 a.m. Central. In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.